The modern flat Earth movement was not a holdover from the Dark Ages. It was created in the 19th century by a single showman who might not have even believed it. His name was Samuel Rowbotham, and he was a master of deception. For over 2,000 years, educated people knew the Earth was a sphere. Ancient Greek philosophers had proven it. Explorers had sailed it. Astronomers had measured it. The idea of a flat Earth was a relic of a distant past. Until one man single-handedly resurrected it. His name was Samuel Burley Rowbotham, but he was better known by his pseudonym Parallax. He was born in 1816, and his early life is a puzzle wrapped in self-promotion. Most of what we know comes from his own writings, and these writings are not exactly reliable. His story truly begins in the 1830s. He became a traveling lecturer for a utopian socialist community. But the community soon expelled him. The reasons are murky. One account claims the 21-year-old Rowbotham advocated for free love. Another claims he insisted the commune adopt a belief in a flat Earth. This is where the story takes a turn. Rowbotham claimed he had conducted a revolutionary experiment on the Bedford Level Canal. He gave different versions of the tale over the years. In one story, he laid on the frozen ice with a telescope. In another, he waded chest deep in the water. In every version, he claimed he saw an object 6 miles away that should have been hidden by the Earth's curvature. He declared this as proof the planet was a flat plane. The truth, however, was much simpler. What he likely observed was a well-known phenomenon called atmospheric refraction. It can bend light, making objects appear visible even when they are physically below the horizon. But Rowbotham ignored this scientific reality. It did not fit his narrative, but here is where it gets interesting. For most of the 1840s, Rowbotham put aside his flat Earth theories. He turned his attention to an even more audacious goal, curing death. He published a pamphlet claiming he had discovered the cause of natural death. He argued the body solidified over time because of earthy substances. His solution was a special diet and a dose of phosphoric acid. He promised this regimen could grant indefinite life. He had no medical degree. But he invented a fake doctor persona named Tryon, who had supposedly treated hundreds of patients successfully. This side business of selling quack medicine and the dream of immortality would shadow his entire career. But his real genius was not in medicine or science. It was in performance. In January 1849, Parallax stepped onto the stage at an obscure mechanics institute. The Victorian age was a time of public lectures as mass entertainment. It was a kind of 19th century YouTube, and controversial topics drew the biggest crowds. Rowbotham offered the ultimate controversy. He argued the Earth was not a globe. He claimed it was a disk with the North Pole at its center. A massive wall of ICE Chinese letter 50 feet high surrounded the known world. The sun and moon were small and close. They moved in circles just a few thousand miles above the Earth. The moon, he insisted, was self-illuminating, and the stars were just small points of light. He called his system zetetic astronomy. He claimed it was based on experiments anyone could replicate. This was his crucial selling point. It was an attack on the elite. He painted Newtonian scientists as arrogant elites who relied on complex math the common person could not understand. Rowbotham used math and diagrams too, but his were designed to confuse, not clarify. His secret weapon, however, was religion. He argued that a spherical Earth contradicted a literal reading of the Bible. This made him a defender of faith against a secular scientific establishment. His tactics in debate were legendary. When challenged with hard questions, he would pivot to another topic. He would challenge his questioners to recite obscure statistics he had memorized. He used a Gish-Gallop technique, throwing out so many falsehoods that his opponent could not possibly refute them all in the time given. All the while he remained unfailingly polite and calm. This made his opponents, often genuine scientists and sailors, appear angry and emotional. The audience saw Parallax as a calm authority figure. By the 1860s, his fame had grown. The scientific establishment could no longer ignore him. A grand experiment was proposed in Plymouth, England. It was a public showdown, Rowbotham and his followers against the Newtonians. They would use a telescope to observe a lighthouse 14 miles away. The Newtonians calculated that from a high cliff the whole lighthouse would be seen. But from the low, rocky shore, the Earth's curve would obscure the structure, leaving only the lantern visible. Parallax confidently declared the entire lighthouse would be visible from both spots. What happened next changed everything. On the day of the experiment, atmospheric conditions were unusual. Refraction was much less than normal. This meant the Earth's curvature had an even greater effect than predicted. From the low shore, only half the lantern was visible. The result was a stunning refutation of Parallax's claims. He was not just wrong, he was profoundly wrong. But in a moment of pure genius showmanship, Parallax turned to the crowd. He declared victory. He announced that because the Newtonians had miscalculated the exact amount of refraction, their entire model of the world was faulty. He proclaimed that no one should ever trust them again. For his audience, it was enough. The narrative of an arrogant establishment being exposed was more compelling than the scientific reality. The following year, he published his masterwork. It was a bestseller. Many people likely bought it as a joke, but it became the founding text of the modern flat Earth movement. Rowbotham became a rich man, not just from his book, but from his old pseudoscience business. He marketed a drink called Dr. Burley's syrup of free phosphorus. He used his zetetic magazines to promote it. He died in 1884 at the age of 68, far short of immortality. His ideas, however, lived on. His followers formed societies and published magazines. As human knowledge expanded to the South Pole and into space, the belief system mutated. It had to. It became a conspiracy theory. Government agencies and scientists were not just wrong. They were actively lying. Samuel Rowbotham's legacy is not a scientific one. It is a lesson in the power of rhetoric. It shows how a charismatic figure with well-honed arguments and an anti-establishment message can convince people of anything, even that the world is flat. Continue exploring the fascinating intersection of science and society by subscribing for more stories.